Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to Cut Above Recipes. In this episode, I'm going to teach you a few tips and tricks and maybe a technique or two so that you can hickory smoke and then grill some filet maybe for your next party. I'm over at the farm doing a dinner service and I figured I'd bring you guys along. Alright, so one of the first things you should do is once your filet is prepared and ready to go into the smoker, you want to season it. Now you don't want to be light with your seasoning, you want to be very liberal. When that little voice in the back of your head tells you to stop, go ahead and add just a little bit more because it probably won't be enough. So the next step with this beef tenderloin would be consistency, and that consistency would need to be in the smoking temperature and a consistent amount of smoke. You want the flavor to penetrate, and you also don't want to cook the beef tenderloin at this step. It's going to sit in the smoker for about 2 hours, so that is the most important reason why you need to monitor the temperature as well, because you do not want to cook it at this point. It's all about flavor. Again, if I didn't say it, the beef tenderloin was about 6 pounds prepped and it was in the smoker for about 2 hours. I think an electric smoker, a pelletized smoker, and an offset type smoker so that it's very indirect heat, something you can monitor with a temperature gauge, will be your two best choices for smoking this filet. Otherwise, you need to be real attentive if you don't have one of those two. Alright, you want to preheat your grill, whether it's an outside gas grill or your indoor cast iron grill. You definitely want it to be hot before you put the filet mignon cuts on there. Now, when this party was originally booked a few weeks ago, it was for 10 people, but at the time when I'm prepping this filet, I was told that there was one person that was going to be missing, so I had a total of 9 cuts I had to get out of this. And the owner who is hosting at the farm, he likes well done pieces, so that is his piece that I'm cutting currently. Nice and small little medallions so that I can get it well done for him. You always got to cater who you know and what they like. Any of the offcuts were going to be left with the owner at the farm so he can cook it, grill it as he sees fit later. What I had to do is make sure I had 9 perfect medallions to cook. If I needed to, I could have gotten 12 out of this beef tenderloin. They are approximately 6.5 to 7 ounce portions. Because on the dinner plate, I'm going to be serving it with a shrimp meridionale, which is a menu item that I used to do with a French chef. It was actually his dish, and his restaurant was over in New Hope, Pennsylvania. Really great guy. awesome food, so that's my tip to him. I'm actually going to be doing that shrimp as another video that should be upcoming soon, so please watch out for it. Shrimp meridionale. You'll see it at the end too on the dish. Alright, you can see my last tip, don't overcrowd the party. The reason you don't want to put too much stuff on the grill is you don't want the grill to lose temperature. You want to maintain its heat so that you get proper crosshatch marks on your filet so that your presentation looks nice and beautiful. And the way you do that is when you turn your filet, you don't want to put it back on the same exact spot. You want to move it over to a different section of the grill that is hot so it gets a nice sear, and you just move it back and forth accordingly. Right now I am grilling my well dones and my 2 mediums that are right there. When you initially put the filet on the griddle or the grill, you do not want to move it for at least 30 to 40 seconds if it is a rare piece. You need enough time for that meat to actually sear and lock in on itself. If you pull it and want to move it too early, you're going to rip the filet and you'll ruin your presentation and the whole look. For the mediums and well, you can actually let each line sit for 2 to 3 minutes. You want to make sure your grill is at a medium heat if you're doing it longer. That way you're not burning it, but it just gives a nice deep color to it. On my rares and medium rares, I don't think I've let my line sit more than 40 seconds. So what I'm doing is I'm a one-man show, so I'm preparing all my food. I'm leaving it on the grill so that I can, when it comes time for service and serving the dinner, all my rares and mediums will come out perfect and true to temperature when I put it in the oven to heat it up. So everything will have about 4 minutes left of cooking to get to the appropriate temperature, if that makes sense. So here I am doing my 2 rares, which is closest to you, and my 3 medium rares in the back. And it's literally 30 to 40 seconds, and you can see I put it on a different part of the grill. So now when it comes time and they're ready and they're finishing, my guests are finishing their salads and I'm starting to plate the dishes, I can put the tray of filet mignon in the oven, and I do that at about 400 degrees. And I know it'll take me for 5 to 10 people for my service. It'd take me about 6 minutes to plate. So that will come out with 2 minutes to rest before it goes on the plate. And that is how I do my timing for service. Unfortunately, I had to serve, so you're not going to get to see the actual plates. I had to make a mock-up plate for this video. I forgot actually to do it as I was taping, but I was under the gun to make sure everybody got their food hot and proper. So that was my number 1 concern, and unfortunately the video was number 2, but you got a pretty plate just the same. I want to say thank you for everybody who stuck through and hung out to watch. Hope you learned something. If there's anything that you want to know, please comment in the section below. On that note, I'll see you guys on the next one.